And now, from approximately coast to coast, the Novelty Clip Company, maker of pre-twisted paper clips for busy executives, presents classic Bob and Ray. Lee Ballou here, winner of radio's prestigious Bronze Fly Swatter Award. Today, my broadcasting colleague Artie Skerbohorn and I will be bringing you yet another of our on-the-spot reports. Bob and Ray make one of their lucky phone calls, and we'll hear another heartwarming episode in the ongoing saga of one fella's family. And now, this is Wally Ballou returning it to the studio.
Hey, we have been thinking that it would be wise this summer to get an airplane that we could fly around the country and report on traffic conditions, that being very important on the weekends.
I mean, some stations have done this locally in different areas, but we thought maybe on a weekend we could cover every major city in the country if we had our own plane.
So we have hired an airplane. It may be a little too big for the job, but...
Well, it's a Cub, isn't it?
At least that's what they said it would be. And we've hired a couple of fellows to fly it. We've sent Wally Ballou out to our private little airport up in Westchester County, who has gone there with a tape recording on this initial broadcast. So come in, Wally Ballou in Westchester.
Lee Ballou, here inside the airplane as preparations are made to take off on the first trial run for Bob and Ray's traffic reporting bulletin. You may be able to hear the pilot up in the cockpit ahead. He's squeezed in there, doesn't have hardly room to turn around, and he is calling the tower for the go-ahead signal.
Ready, Captain? Okay, co-pilot. Let's go.
Check
for takeoff.
He's ready.
Wing
They're
flaps.
checking for takeoff.
Wing flaps.
Wing
Rudder.
flaps are okay.
Rudder.
Port
engine one.
There goes port engine one.
Port engine one. Port engine two.
They've told me. Port engine two. Told me to sit back here and not bother
Starboard
them.
engine one.
Starboard engine one. To
Starboard
stop.
engine one. Starboard engine two.
Starboard engine two. That's four.
Engine two. Airplane ready.
Now they're ready.
Flight 35. Ready.
And
Takeoff when ready. Flight 35.
the tower says take off when ready, and that's what we're doing. And this little plane that will be covering the traffic for Bob and Ray this summer, we're taxiing out to the strip.
Up with your landing gear. Gear up.
Now we're off the ground. You'll hear me again when we're in the air.
Okay, take her now. I'll say hello to our passengers.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Huh?
I'm Captain Williams, your pilot on this flight.
Captain
We are
Williams.
now airborne at 12,000 feet, flying at 310 miles per hour, and will reach Chicago on schedule in 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Chicago.
Ready for your breakfast, children?
Huh?
Here, put these pillows on your laps and I'll
There's a
put the
beautiful,
trays on.
lovely lady in the uniform speaking to the passenger.
Say, that was good. Where are we now, Miss Jones?
Let's see, it's 10:45.
Miss Jones is her name.
We're over Allentown, Pennsylvania now.
How can you tell me?
Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Well, we have a schedule.
Hey!
And we follow...
Huh?
schedule
Come
on
all
in.
the way. Yes,
We're
Captain,
broadcasting
checking right
from
now.
Bob and Ray's plane, sir. They're going to be covering traffic conditions over
Here's
the
Allentown,
various
right on
towns
the
this
beam.
summer.
Hello, Allentown. Ceiling clear.
I think we made some mistake here, ladies and gentlemen. And Bob and Ray, will you forgive me, fellas?
that
I seem to be on the wrong
Yes,
plane.
I hear it.
And now,
Big
from
city,
12,000...
Well, was he ever on the wrong plane?
That's not our plane.
Well, there goes Wally Ballou to Chicago. And he's going to have a nice breakfast, too, which is nice. Actually, he did get on the wrong plane. It's a little Cub. that
Can't
we
he
had.
tell the difference between a Cub and a transcontinental plane?
It would appear he couldn't.
Time again for Matt Neffer, boy spot welding king of the world. Today, Matt and his friend Todd are sitting quietly in Todd's library as Matt puts down volume 18 of his encyclopedia and turns to Todd. He says,
Well, it's nice being here in your library, Todd.
I thought this was your library, Matt.
Oh?
I mean, it doesn't look like my library, all these books and things. My library is rather sparsely furnished with books.
Out here in the foyer.
Oh, yes. Oh, now I know it's your house, Matt. I don't have a foyer in mine.
That's right, you don't. That encyclopedia you were reading, Todd, you had What volume was it?
It was volume 18, Matt, but you were reading it. I was sitting here watching you read it.
Out here on the front porch, Todd.
Sure thing, Matt.
I didn't hear what you were saying about the encyclopedia.
I was saying that you were reading there from volume 18.
I was reading from volume 18 of the
Yes.
encyclopedia.
Re to st.
Matt,
Yes, Todd.
I'm out on the porch. Would you let me in, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm awfully
Yes.
sorry about that, Todd.
Certainly a beautiful day outside.
Open it. I'm out here now, Todd.
Oh, of course, Matt. Matt, this isn't getting
Let's leave
us
the door
anywhere.
open, shall we?
Yes.
I said let's leave the door open.
Oh, all right.
That's better.
Matt, this isn't solving any of your problems.
I had a letter this morning from Inspector Hartstone.
Inspector Hartstone.
Yes, of the death squad.
But he's been off for some time.
Up here! Upstairs, Todd.
I'll take the elevator, Matt. It'll be quicker.
No, you're taking the stairs. I can hear you. No, it's me going down.
I'm already up here in the elevator, Matt.
Well, I'm downstairs now, Todd.
Well, which would be quicker for me to get down, by elevator or on the stairs?
I think probably if you took the stairs, 2 at a time.
Right. There we are. Yes, that was quicker, Matt. But I won't say it was more comfortable.
Out here in the kitchen, Todd, making up a little blast.
And so Matt and Todd ponder the problems which face Matt as boy spot welding king of the world. Next time, a strange request is made on the telephone. We'll hear Matt say,
No, I will not.
in the next episode of Matt Neffer, written for radio by O. Leo Leahy.
Right now, because I have to leave, I want to introduce Clyde and Claude McBeebe, the McBeebe twins and their orchestra, who are here on just a one-night stand. Isn't that right, Clyde and Claude, in New York?
Well, yes. We'll be here for 2 more days, Bob and Ray.
2 more days, and you've had quite a lot of success with this new combination. I wonder if you'd tell us a little bit about just what the instrumentation is.
Well, the new instrumentation of the orchestra includes 5 violins, 4 drums, 6 accordions, and 7 cornets, and 11 pianos, and 5 electric organs, and 12 saxophones, and 1 bugle.
Well, that makes a total of 53 musicians. That certainly is a big, practically a symphonic aggregation, and you get real good sound out of all this conglomeration.
Sounds just miserable.
Uh-huh. Well, you must need more than 1 bus to carry a load like this around the country.
That's right, Bob. We have 4 buses and 6 trailers and 2 trains and 1 truck and
3 motorcycles. What? 3 motorcycles. It's the first time that I think that I can remember that one of the McBeebe twins, and I don't know which one it was, but either Claude or Clyde was him. One of them talked by himself, and that certainly proves that we're getting somewhere.
Well, we're trying to get away from talking the way we do. It just seems like we keep echoing each other. And we've been trying to get away from it.
Well, I want to wish you a great deal of luck, fellas. And as always, bon voyage wherever you happen to go with your troupe.
Well, thank you. And it was a real pleasure to be here.
Stopping by.
You see how we're trying to get away from it.
Uh-huh.
This is Public Lawyer, episodes dedicated to the selfless conduct of those who serve the best interests of the public. Court-appointed attorney Vernon Stitz is such a man.
Now, how do you plead, prisoner? Guilty or not guilty?
Well, I don't know.
Do you have benefit of counsel?
No. You see, Your Honor, I don't have a lawyer, to be honest with you.
Well, every man, woman, and child is entitled to the fullest protection of the law. Now, there are several court-appointed attorneys here in the courtroom. Would one of you please step forward to advise this man?
I will.
I can't see too well from here, but I suspect that eager voice belongs to Vernon Stitz.
Maybe I'd better go it alone and take my chances, Judge.
No, the law is a complex thing, Mr. Flowers. I'm calling a 10-minute recess here so that Mr. Stitz can familiarize himself with the details of your case.
I appreciate that, Your Honor.
Now, would the prisoner please step forward?
Prisoner just stepped forward, Your Honor.
Thank you, Counselor. Now, after having conferred with his attorney, how does the prisoner plead?
Just a minute, Your Honor. I've advised Mr. Flowers not to plead guilty or not guilty either.
Well, I hope you know what you're doing, Counselor.
Your Honor, I'm willing to take the risk. There's a precedent for all this. The State versus Cosmo, October 1928. If the good judge will look it up, he'll find that Victor Cosmo pleaded neither guilty nor not guilty in October of 1928.
Well, if it's a legal duel you want, my hot-headed young friend, you'll get one. I was the presiding judge on that case, and the reason Mr. Cosmo didn't plead one way or the other was because he was hit by a truck before the trial and became deceased.
Judge, I think I'll go it alone. I don't want the court to do me any favors with free attorneys, especially this one.
Well,
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
On what grounds, may I know?
Some new evidence has come up that'll be of interest to this court.
Counselor, there hasn't as yet been a trial. I haven't seen any kind of evidence.
Exactly, Your Honor. We're dealing with the pre-introduction of evidence before a trial, a totally new legal concept.
Oh, get out of here, Stitz. That's ridiculous.
Ha! That's just what I've been waiting for. An outburst from you, Your Honor. I move that this case be thrown out of court because of pre-trial prejudice on the part of the presiding judge.
Frankly, Counselor, I am prejudiced. I think you're a boob.
Judge, I didn't come with this guy. All he said to me during the recess was that we were involved in a desperate gamble for time, even before he heard what I was doing here. I think he's a nut, so I'll plead guilty.
So be it. And now, instead of skiing information, we bring you another episode of One Fella's Family. Today's episode, entitled High Noon at Home, is taken from Book 11, Chapter 7, 8, 9, and a footnote on page 15 of Chapter 9. As we look in on the family now, Father is standing by the grandfather clock, and it's 5 minutes before noon.
Well, Fanny,
Yeah?
pretty near lunchtime. 5 minutes to high noon.
That's right. Well, at noon we always have our lunch, don't we? Kind of soup do you want today?
Well, I think beef and vegetable would be very appetizing.
All righty. Want any sandwiches or salad? Or...
Maybe a peanut butter sandwich.
Oh, really? Now, peanut butter sandwich with your beef
Have you noticed
soup?
how the sun has been bringing out the buds on the rose bushes?
What?
Huh?
What'd you say?
Felly.
I heard that, but what did you say?
I said, have you noticed how the sun is bringing out the buds on the rose bushes?
Buds on the rose bushes. Yes, I
What I
noticed
said,
that.
Benny.
Well, why don't you talk more plainly?
All a result of good pruning.
The way you talk, I can't hardly understand you from time to time.
Pruned those rose bushes when I did a month ago, they wouldn't be budded now.
There wouldn't be what?
Budded.
There wouldn't be budded?
Budded now.
Oh. Well, why don't you talk to... You going downtown
Set to
today?
burst into full bloom.
Oh, land's sakes. My word, I find you more difficult every day. Are you going downtown today?
This afternoon, Fanny.
Why don't you drop in and see the dentist there and see if he can tighten up your diction?
Nonsense. Bradley. That was back in Book 6.
What? Oh.
Have you noticed the clock is pretty near ready to strike high noon?
High noon.
High noon at home.
You've been listening to One Fella's Family, brought to you instead of skiing information at this time. Today's episode, entitled High Noon at Home, is taken from Book 11, Chapters 7, 8, and 9, pages 12, and a footnote on page 15. One Fella's Family is written and produced by T. Wilson Messy. This is a Messy production.
Now, for all of you book fans, here is our literary editor, Webley Webster.
Hello, everybody.
Webb, we haven't had a review for quite some time now. And, of course, a lot of new books on the bestseller list.
Oh, it's so difficult to select, never reading them all. I think the past year was a very, very fruitful year.
Yes, it was.
For writers. We've had some wonderful books, stories, histories. There's so much interesting stuff that it's very difficult for me to sift through them all and to come up with one to publicize nationally.
Well, I see the Webley Webster players are in the other studio ready to enact a scene from a book, so I guess you have read one and picked it out, have you?
I have read one, and I've picked it out to review and to dramatize what I think is the most exciting portion of the book.
Exciting scene from this particular book.
Yes.
What is it, please?
The book is called Where'd You Go Out, What You Do, Nothing.
Oh, yes, I read that. That was very amusing. Where did you go out? And what scene are they going to do, Webb?
Well, this takes place very early in the book, on about page 12. There are 3 days at sea, and the mean old pirate captain comes on deck, and he calls to his first mate.
Matey?
Aye, aye, Captain.
Now, that be no way to talk to your good captain.
What's the matter, Captain?
Why, you...
No. Oh.
Oh, the good matey didn't fall down.
Oh. Yeah, I thought that wasn't as hard as you usually hit, Captain.
Well, when I hit from now on, matey, you best fall down.
Aye, sir. Want to try it once?
Why, you...
Oh, that was better, sir. Much better.
All right, up off the deck, matey. What be direction this here tub going in?
Well, we're heading east by northeast, sir. But there's a storm ahead.
Why, Don't be bringing a good captain bad news like that, matey.
Oh, boy.
I'll tell ye when I want to be told there's a storm brewing.
Aye, sir.
I don't like... Why,
I think that's the most exciting part of the whole book. I recommend it for everyone, from a kid to an old buck.
I don't remember that scene in that book at all, but we don't have time to go into it right now. And until our next book review, Webley Webster says...
So long, everybody.
This is Artie Skirmahorn. I'm out doing a little research today here with my microphone. I'm walking along the sidewalk, measuring just how many feet there are in one of these blocks of pavement. It's a very interesting thing, and I say 1 foot, 2, 3, about 3.5 to each one of these things. Oh, here's a gentleman. Would you like to talk into our microphone?
Yes, I'd be happy to.
Would you care to give us your name?
Wally Ballou.
How do you do, Mr. Ballou? What do you do?
Well, I'm an on-the-street reporter.
The heck you say?
That's right.
Well, isn't this a coincidence?
Same line of work, Artie.
Yeah.
I've heard you many times, incidentally, and I'm glad to have the opportunity to congratulate you on your fine work.
I was just measuring these pavements, Mr. Ballou. Do you do scientific things like that?
Yes. There's 80 feet to a block here
in
this particular section of town.
You knew that, then, eh?
I've already done that, yes.
Oh. Well, this is Artie Skirmahorn, then, returning it to the studio.
Ray, I have our lucky phone call all ready to dial here.
Oh, you're silver-sides today. Well, okay. Let's tear open the envelope.
And our call goes out to Terre Haute, Indiana. Number, please.
Terre
Haute, Indiana,
238, ring 7. Must be a farmhouse.
Whereabouts, Indiana?
Terre Haute?
Terre Haute, I think. It's none of my business, but I think you're mispronouncing
Haute, Hot, Hoot.
What was the number again in Terre Haute?
I'll have to look again.
Wait a minute, I think I wrote it down.
347, ring 7, I think, isn't it?
Yes, that'll do. All right, I'll put the call through.
Doesn't make any difference, I promise.
Give me the route, Terre Haute, Indiana, please, will you, operator? Norwalk, Ohio, ring down 3. Cleveland round Derby.
Pronounces it
up
Terre
through New
Haute.
York, over to New England, down, over at Thank you.
The operator's getting the number in Terre Haute now, and in a very short time we should be... It's ringing. I can hear it ring out there.
Hello?
Hello, is this Terre Haute 347, ring 7?
Yes, it is.
This is Bob and Ray in New York calling you, sir.
Yes?
You Mr. Granby H. Frompton?
That's right.
Do you live on a farm, Mr. Frompton?
Yes, I do.
That's what we assumed when we saw that ring 7 number there. This is our lucky phone call.
Mm-hmm.
From the Bob and Ray Show.
It's the Bob and Ray Show, Alice.
He's telling his wife, Alice, that it's the Bob and Ray Show calling from New York.
I don't know who they are.
She's saying she doesn't know who
She doesn't know who you fellas are. I don't either. What is it all about?
Well, it's a radio program, sir.
It's a radio show, huh?
We make a lucky phone call. What?
I didn't say anything. Go ahead.
And you were selected from our phone books.
Clabbering up for rain.
Fine. You were selected scientifically from our phone lists here in New York City.
That's fine.
To be called on today's program.
Certainly appreciate you calling.
All right. Good to talk to you, Mr. Frompton.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. So we've made another lucky telephone call, this time to Terre Haute.
That was very good, wasn't it?
Yes.
By transcription, we have a tape here of an interview we made earlier this week, so we call an open-end interview with the star fullback of the Little Rock, Arkansas professional football team, the Lancers. Is that right? Is this Frank Fonsicle? Is this what we did, Ray?
That's right, and he's a quarterback on a professional football team.
All
What
right.
you have?
I had fullback, but
No,
that doesn't
he's
make
a
any
quarterback.
difference.
He calls a play.
Will you start the tape, please? Frank, it's a pleasure to have you here in the Bob and Ray isolation booth. How long have you been playing pro football?
Well, that's when the end goes out, and you take a beat and draw in the tackle, and then go through, and for the first down, you hope you don't get more than 2 or 3 yards on a play like that.
Trouble somewhere. Frank, tell me this. Your team has showed up pretty good so far this year. What was the outstanding game, do you think, in your mind?
1938.
That's the answer to the when he started, I think. Frank, I'd like to ask you just one question.
Hello there. It's a pleasure to be here. And if you have any questions about football, you go ahead and
roll that back.
I'll try to answer them for you.
Answer if you can. Yeah. Now we got it straight. Frank, tell me this. What do you think your toughest game this year is going to be yet to be played?
38.
It's the same one, the same track. Frank?
It's a pleasure.
Well, our time is...
Fire away with any questions, and I'll be very pleased to answer them.
Running a little bit short. We've been listening to quarterback Frank Fonsicle of the Little Rock Lancers, and just a final goodbye, Frank, and thanks for being here.
38.
How'd you like to make extra money in your spare time? For a profitable hobby that can develop into a lucrative business, it's alligators, the small, clean, scaly animals that are literally worth their weight in gold.
Now, they can be raised in a spare room, basement, or garage. It takes only a few minutes a day to care for a pair, and it costs only a few pennies a day to feed each animal. Alligators breed once a year and have 1 to 5 eggs at a time. They white clean with a damp cloth.
Now, the pair that you're going to get from Alligator Industries are completely guaranteed producers, all pedigreed and registered. Now, we would like to point out that you can make all sorts of things from these animals: suitcases, shoes, watch bands, many other expensive articles.
Now, we'll help you get started, folks, and show you how to make substantial profits in alligator raising. We'll supply you with 2 alligator eggs and complete information on the feeding, raising, housing, and breeding of alligators.
Oh, and don't forget, Ray, alligator eggs are sturdy, they're easy to handle, and they're as light as ping-pong balls.
Now then, for the free booklet on alligator raising, with no obligation whatsoever, write to Slimy, New York.
And as a special bonus for the first 100 to order alligator eggs, we're going to send absolutely free a 1-week supply of vitamin-enriched alligator food.
Remember, no alligator salesman will call at your home.
I just wish you could see our studio here, all bedecked with bunting of varied colors. And we're chatting with Miss Gladys Gayhart of Elkhart, Indiana. Just a minute, Miss Gayhart. We're introducing you. She is a member of the group here in convention in New York City and having their actual convention here in the studios. Miss Gayhart, will you tell us just what it is that you folks collect?
Miniature wastebaskets, the tiniest type possible. And I have, to repeat, been collecting them now for 15 years.
You have your total collection right here on this board, bedecked with bunting and various decorative effects here. There must be, 8 or 9 there?
There are 12.
12 miniature wastebaskets.
And you see this one here, I'll point to it.
Mm-hmm.
That is all hand-carved leather.
It's not much bigger than a thimble, is it?
That's reputed to... No, it's absolutely smaller, I'd say, than the ordinary thimble. This is reputed to be almost 3,000 years old.
Is that so? What did they do with miniature wastebaskets 3,000 years ago?
Oh, they threw tiny things in them.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, how many of you are here in convention at New York for this
Well,
week
there
ahead?
are 4 of us who collect these.
4 from various parts of the United States. And how
3
many?
from the United States, 1 from the British Isles.
Is that so? And what does the total collection include? How many miniature wastebaskets do you have?
Well, about 19, including. And we think that there are 2 more somewhere in the world.
Isn't that interesting? I think that this is real
that
wonderful.
The dye on this, that purple
Yes.
or bluish.
Well, I see our time is up, Miss Gayhart. I hope you have a wonderful time here in New York, and thanks for talking on our microphone.
You're welcome.
I'd like to do a few impersonations, if I might.
Bob, I want you to feel free to do them. The microphone is yours. How many do you plan on doing? Because it'll probably give me time to get down and get a drink.
Well, I thought I'd do them until the audience overwhelm me with applause.
Okay, well, I'll be back when I think that you've had
All right, first I'll do Michael Redgrave, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, this is Michael Redgrave speaking. Now I'd like to do John Forsythe. Hello, everyone. John Forsythe speaking.
John Forsythe is from Utah.
Now I'd like to do, what's that?
John Forsythe is a British actor.
I'm sorry. Cross that one out. I'd like to do, Michael Rennie for you. Hello, everyone. Michael Rennie speaking.
Can you do Edward Mulhare?
I think so. Hello, everyone. Edward Mulhare speaking.
Do you know there's a sick lady upstairs?
No, I don't know that one. Well, the applause hasn't been overwhelming. So that means that I'm not the winner tonight. So I'll just go out.
Just about. How's the applause going?
Yeah,
I didn't hear much.
There wasn't much.
Oh,
It was quite weak.
Uh-huh. Well, you didn't do Alec Guinness, I don't think, did you?
No, I didn't. Go down for another. Hello, everyone. Alec Guinness speaking.
That was good. Terrific.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, that's about all the time we have today. Classic Bob and Ray was written and performed by Bob Elliott and Ray Goulding. Additional material by Tom Cook, Lars Hoel, and Ole Olehi. Classic Bob and Ray was developed for the Radio Foundation by our executive producer, Larry Josephson. Lars Hoel is our program producer, engineering by Jerry LaRosa, Bill O'Neill, and Manoli Wetherell.
And now this is Ray Goulding reminding you to write if you get work.
Bob Elliott reminding you to hang by your thumbs.
This program was independently produced and distributed by the Radio Foundation. This is the Radio Art Radio Network.
And now, from approximately coast to coast, the Crutchford Braid and Tassel Company presents Classic Bob and Ray. Hi, this is Bob Elliott, welcoming you to another program in the series Classic Bob and Ray. I'm always gratified by the high esteem in which our work is held by so many. To be honest, I think it's because of the sheer output of our work over the years. From 1946 to 1990, when Ray's health forced him to stop working, our presence was felt in practically every form of contemporary entertainment: radio, television, motion pictures, nightclubs, books, recordings, the Broadway stage, and Carnegie Hall. Through it all, we never took ourselves too seriously, and we certainly had fun in what we did.
Well, I'm sure the Sitting Duck is pretty close to docking now. And for that story, let's call in Wally Ballou aboard that boat.
Ballou, in the wheelhouse of the Sitting Duck, which now has made quite a bit of distance.
There you go, 213.
There you go, 213, between the Narrows and the pier on the North River.
All that two-thirds.
Two-thirds now, where we're going to
head two-thirds.
land. Captain Gibbs is
Yes?
still at my side and has taken over the wheel. What are you doing now, Captain?
Steering.
And you're going to make a right turn up here, is that right? Is that Navy lingo or seafaring talk?
You mean right and left turns?
Yeah.
No, not really. That's automobile lingo, so to speak.
Uh-huh.
But, no, we turn port or aft or starboard, you see.
Well, now you're aiming for that little pier there.
That's the aim now, not the pier, beside it.
Uh-huh.
There's a little body of water there between the two piers, and I'm going to try to squeeze the Sitting Duck in there and let the people get off.
How many people do you have passengers aboard right now?
Well, we mostly have bananas here,
but
we have 4 or 5 folks who came along for the trip. They're all executives with the banana company.
I understand that's quite a pleasant way to travel, and inexpensive, too.
What?
A banana boat. And now we're in, I'd say, about 50 feet from the dock. And what is that you're doing now, Captain? Oh, taking a drink of water. How long will it be before the boat comes to a complete halt?
As soon as it stops. Oh, I hit the pier there. Now, that's a mistake.
Do they mind when you do that, the people that own the pier?
Well, they're covered. I mean, they have insurance to cover that. But they don't like it, no. They'd rather we didn't. Now I'm ringing the bell.
What does that signify?
Nothing special. It's something to do while I'm waiting for the boat to kind of wedge itself free here. This is the worst,
Captain.
man. This is the worst
Captain.
I've done. Yes, I think it's being on
Captain.
the air. Yes.
I was leaning over the side just as you brought the boat into a stop, and I had the microphone.
You better
over.
get out. I'm going to get out of here.
Captain,
I'm getting out of here.
I have my finger caught between the... My
better
finger.
get off there.
But...
You better get out of there.
My finger. Wally Ballou returning you to... Here's a feature we like to come up upon at these sessions, which we call Questions and Answers to Bob and Ray. We just kind of throw everything open to our studio guests. There aren't too many of them here today at this time, as a matter of fact, but maybe some of you have a question you'd like to have Ray or myself answer, and we'll certainly try to do so to the best of our ability. Who has that lady with her hand up?
Yes, if I may. I've been listening to you, Bob and Ray.
Would you stand, please, ma'am, if you're directing a question to us here?
Certainly.
Podium.
All right. Bob and Ray, I've been listening to you since 19 and 29.
Uh-huh.
And I attended one of your shows many, many years ago, and the studio was gaily festooned, as I recall.
Yes.
And when I came into the studio about an hour ago, I was rather disappointed in the somber decor of your studio today, and I wondered what the reason was, why you changed from such gaily festooned studio to this one, which is very, very depressing.
That is an interesting
May I
question.
sit down for the answer?
Yes, of
Thank
course.
you.
I'll stand for the answer myself. The question of why we don't decorate the studio is rather a complex one. It somewhat resembles the problem of a hotel which finds itself being
stolen, having all of its towels stolen. Do you realize how much money a hotel loses in a year, say, from people stealing towels for souvenirs to take home?
Why, I'm not listening.
We found that our bunting...
What's this towels got to do with it?
Well,
I think I asked you something about festoons, Ray.
It's a problem. I'm Bob, ma'am. Ray is downstairs.
Well, what do you know about that?
A quick one.
I thought you would change.
No, the point is this bunting that we used to use...
What happened to you, Bob?
Nothing happened to me, ma'am. I've always looked this way. Well, do you want to hear the answer, or do you want to just sit there? I could be sitting down, too.
Well, if you could give me a direct answer and not talk to me about hotel towels.
No, I meant that the cost of bunting became quite exorbitant over the past years. People would steal little pieces of it at each broadcast to take home as souvenirs, and we found that our festoonery was running into quite a bit of money at the end of a year.
And those big pictures you used to have of
the
yourself.
big blow-ups, the 8x10 blow-ups of us.
Yes.
Well, they've skyrocketed in price, too. And, of course, noisemakers that we gave to
I
the
know
audience,
those have gone up because I
up.
had a birthday party for a nephew, and I was amazed at the cost of those little things.
Well, what the deuce has that got to do with what we're talking about here?
I'm sorry.
Now, then we had a crew that did nothing but festoon the studio before we went on the air, and then defestoon it later, whatever was left of it that they didn't steal, and the labor costs were prohibitive on that.
Lady, it's a shame to think that you've taken 3 minutes radio time. It goes coast to coast to ask a stupid question like that.
I think I can wrap it.
Something serious.
I think I can wrap it all up for you, ma'am. We decided that the show either stands or falls on its content.
Boy.
And all the bunting in the world wouldn't make it any better.
Oh, what a boy. I mean, if you wanted a wonderful, wonderful phony answer, that was it. Brother.
Again, we return to Wally Ballou, who is, I assume, still aboard the great ship Sitting Duck. Come in, correspondent Wally Ballou.
Wally Ballou, standing here at the edge of the deck with my finger still caught between the dock and the side of the Sitting Duck, which pulled in here to New York just a while ago. Captain, what are the chances of moving the vessel so that I can extricate my finger?
Well, I'll,
There's no pain or anything.
No, it's just a case of being stuck there, isn't it, more
That's right, and it's kind of awkward to carry on the radio broadcast in this shed.
Ben, will you move the boat a little bit up there, please?
1/3.
Yeah, back about a third.
All into that for head 1/3.
1/3.
Right 15 degrees rudder? Right 15 degrees rudder.
That should do it, because you sure they're going the right way now, away from the dock?
Right 15.
Yes. Be sure you're going away from the dock.
200.
Wow.
There you go, 213.
Okay. Hey, did you get your finger on
Yes, I did.
Okay, you can bring it back in. Now,
Boy, that's much better.
Any other questions now before you leave?
No, I don't believe so. How's the chow in this vessel?
So the food's all very good here. At sea, you have a great appetite. And although we had a rather hectic landing, I do hope that you and your great crew will pay us a call again whenever the Sitting Duck comes back to port.
We certainly hope
I'm
so.
awful sorry that this happened.
Oh,
but,
forget it, Captain.
I think the entire crew is nervous.
Oh, that's... Of course
Knowing
they are.
that, you radio...
Nobody's fault but my own. I shouldn't have had my finger down there between the ship and the dock anyway.
Knowing that you radio people were aboard, I think probably affected the crew. But again, thank you, and we hope that you'll always consider the Sitting Duck as kind of a second home.
Well, we'll certainly do that, Captain, and it's been a pleasure talking to you and to all of the men in the Sitting Duck.
Anchors away.
What?
Anchors away.
That's so.
No, I'm giving a signal to drop anchor.
Oh, and this is Wally Ballou returning you to New York.
Hey, we got big news today for all anchovy lovers.
Anchovies, as you know, friends, are small little fish of the herring family, noted for their peculiar flavor, and used for pickling and as a sauce or a canopy.
Anchovies come curled up like little snails, and there was a time when this was considered fashionable and decorative, but not anymore.
No longer should anchovies be served all rolled up in a little ball, friends. Today, anchovies should be served long.
Anchovy strips, we call them. And if you haven't had anchovy strip salad or an anchovy wedge, you haven't really enjoyed anchovies as they should be enjoyed.
Now, if you'll bring in camera one, please, you'll see here on the table, friends, a small ironing board together with the new Bob and Ray anchovy ironer.
Now, you can iron your own anchovies right at home there with very little trouble and at practically no expense.
Now, I'm going to iron a few anchovies right here in the studio so that you can see for yourself how easy it really is.
Oh, if you can iron a shirt, you'll have no trouble ironing an anchovy. No buttons to iron around, no pleats to beware of, and nothing to starch.
First, you gently test the iron by wetting your finger and, touching it to the bottom of the iron like I did there.
That's a little too hot, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then, taking the anchovy...
Let's see, it's set for wool.
Oh, yeah. Try it on...
No, I'll have to set it for fish. Wait a minute.
I'll try it.
That's better.
That's better. Now, take the anchovy between your thumb and second finger, place it on the table, put the point of the iron at the base of the anchovy.
Now you gently press the anchovy out, prodding with the point of the iron until flat, like I'm doing here.
That's all there is to it. Lift up the iron, take a sharp knife, and pry the anchovy from the base of the iron onto a plate.
Now, to get this bargain of a lifetime, write to Pressed Flat, New York.
And that fanfare serves to introduce, of course, the 64-cent question. And here now, to MC, to ask the questions, Larry Lovebreath.
Well, thank you very much. And hello and welcome to what we think is going to be radio's most exciting game, a chance to run 2 cents all the way up to 64 cents. And who's our first contestant who's going to try?
Her name is Bertha Lally.
All right, well, you send Miss Lally out here. Miss Lally is from King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. Isn't that right, Miss Lally?
That's right.
And are you a little bit nervous as you stand here at our stage and prepare to try and run yourself up into a fortune?
I don't know whether it's nervousness or excitement, Mr. Lovebreath.
I see. Well, okay, now, first of all, as you know, you have to pick your category from this big board behind me. Now, you've got popular music, you've got geography, history.
Well, I've already made up my mind.
You've chosen your category.
Yes, it's jousting.
Jousting, okay. Well, I hope you know your subject, and we want to wish you a lot of luck. You have 2 cents, as you know, to begin with, and so here is your first question. Jousting has been a yearly event down in Natural Chimneys, Virginia, for some time, as a matter of fact. It's been called America's oldest continuous sporting event. Now, think carefully, Miss Lally, for 4 cents. How many years have they held this jousting tournament in Natural Chimneys, Virginia?
Well, it started in 1821, so when they hold it this year, it will be the 134th.
134 years, right. And it's held on the 17th of August. I don't know whether you...
Right,
did you know that? Well, you certainly do know your subject, Miss Lally. Now, before you decide whether or not you want to try and run that 4 cents up to 8 and double your money, remember, after you get 8 cents, the least you can win is a box of marshmallows. I want you to go over into that isolation booth and think it over carefully, okay?
All right.
And we'll be calling you back later, and a great deal of luck to you.
Thank you.
A wonderful contestant. Thank you.
Want to talk with anybody in the audience today, I wonder?
How about that old gentleman on the end of the second row there? Would you come up here, Granddad?
You talking to me?
Yes.
Where do you get the old granddad?
Well, I just use that as kind of a friendly term.
No, I meant where do you get the old granddad? I wouldn't mind having a little.
Not around here.
Oh.
We're on the radio now.
Oh, right-o.
Well, I should tell you. Where are you from?
I'm from New Jersey.
By the looks of your hale and hearty complexion, you're an outdoor man. You work outdoors?
That's right. I raise hogs.
Is that so? That's quite an industry, I suppose.
It's quite an industry. Of course, without your hogs, you'd never have your ham or your bacon. You wouldn't have your fresh pork. You wouldn't have, probably, your toothbrushes.
Or your sausages.
Yes, sir. Sausages and so forth.
Yes. How long have you been at this? All your life?
No, I've only been raising hogs for about 4 years.
I've heard it said that hogs don't make very good house pets. Is that...
No, they're not an animal that you'd want to keep in the house.
For one thing, you never really get to know a hog.
You can't get close to him, huh?
Oh, boy, no. No, indeed. And
are they friendly? I mean...
No, a hog is not a friendly animal by any stretch of the imagination.
Mm-hmm.
He actually is a pretty mean animal, a hog. You wouldn't think so,
wouldn't
probably.
Go so far as to attack you, would he?
Oh, yes. If he thought that you were helpless, he'd attack you.
Is that so, huh?
You bet it's so. There's no doubt about it. You fall down in a pigsty, and you know you've fallen down someplace.
Uh-huh. Well, thanks very much for talking with us, sir, and best of luck over at your pig farm.
I'm going from here over to the Waldorf Astoria. I'm going to sit around the lobby for a while.
Like this? You're going over there?
I got nice, comfortable chairs. I thought I'd read a paper.
I know, but... Well, okay, that's up to you.
Okay.
Yes, sir, it's our new radio game, and back in our stage is Ms. Bertha Lally of King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, and we're going to see what her decision is. She's already earned 4 cents for herself, and Miss Lally, what have you decided about trying to double that and go right on?
I'll try.
You're going to try and go for 8 cents, is that right? Now, as you know, very good. Are you nervous, or do you think that
No,
you'll be
I'm quite familiar with my subject,
All
Mr. Lovebreath. I'm not nervous at all.
All right, well, Miss Lally has chosen for her category jousting. She answered the first question correctly, and now let's turn on the question machine, which automatically gives us your next question for 8 cents, Miss Lally. Here it is, and our lovely assistant Elaine has just handed it to us, and we would like to know, for 8 cents, the story of how jousting and this jousting tournament down in Natural Chimneys, Virginia, got started.
Well,
think carefully now, Miss Lally.
The story goes that the hand of one of the local belles was sought by two ardent swains back in, as I told you before, 1821. 134 years ago.
Right so far.
And the lady was unable to make up her mind. And finally, her schoolmaster uncle suggested that she bestow her favor, as in the days of King Arthur's knights, upon the winner of a jousting contest. And it was to be about proving skill, horsemanship, without the mortal danger of the old English tournaments, when each rider sought to unseat the other, and as such arouse the sporting interest of the whole countryside. Now, on the fateful day, the two young knights met in the Valley of Virginia at a place called Natural Chimneys, where 7 curious rock formations tower more than 100 feet in the air.
This is remarkable,
from
Miss
a
Lally.
level plain. I know my subject.
You
now,
certainly
at the
do.
end of the contest, well, one of them won anyway. I think that. What was the question?
That was right. That's absolutely right. And Miss Lally has told us the story of how the jousting tournament began. And now it's going to be up to you to make up your mind whether you want to try and double that. You have 8 cents. You're going for the first scaffolding. And I want you to think it over carefully, Miss Lally, before you decide, all right?
Yes.
And you'll be back a little bit later to try for that 16-cent question, and that will be the gateway to big money, okay?
All right.
We'll look for you again real soon.
Hello there. Say, have we got exciting news for you this week?
Yes, sir. Fall is here again, and of course, all of you regulars know that that's Bob and Ray Mystery Bus Ride time.
You remember what a success it was last year, the mystery bus ride? Well, it's even going to be more exciting this year, and the cost is going to be just about the same. Maybe $1 or $2 more, but basically it'll be the same price.
Everything has gone up, Ray. I don't think anyone would complain about that.
I don't think so.
We haven't got the exact date set, but we thought today it might be fun to stir up a little interest, if you haven't heard about it, to run a film of last year's mystery bus ride so you can get the idea of just how this works out. It is a lot of fun.
Okay, would you turn on the film there now? We'll describe it. Now, here we are standing in Times Square.
That's the meeting place.
Where everyone who's going on the mystery bus ride shows up.
Sorry, this wasn't a... See, we had gotten all of our listeners to write in previous to this and send their money in, and then we told them to meet us.
Right here is a lady who is questioning now whether she wants to go. and
Remember the trouble
she had to be helped aboard.
See, the trouble with this is these people don't know. Well, the whole point of the mystery bus ride is that they pay their money and they get on the bus, the shades are drawn, and only the bus driver and the Bob and Ray staff know where the bus is going.
And it's a mystery ride, and we bring them back to Times Square, maybe midnight, 1 or 2 o'clock. Unfortunately, last year we had tire trouble, you'll recall.
Wait. There's the lady signaling she wants to get off there. That's a funny shot.
That's right. And the Bob and Ray attendants, of course, can't permit that.
I think it's a little just about here where that flat tire happens, isn't it?
Here we did have the flat tire, and the Bob and Ray attendants, that's Wilbur Conley, young squirt who works for us, putting blindfolds around all the people before they can leave the bus and stand around in what appears to be a corn patch.
There they are. There they are, all standing around with the blindfolds on, and a state trooper is going to come along in just a minute. You'll see. There he comes. And there's some law about wearing masks in public, and the whole bunch was arrested.
There we are. We're Bob and Ray now talking to the police officer. And
we can't talk him out of it, though.
Bob and Ray now signaling to the mystery bus riders to follow them.
And there we go, as many as possible, into the waiting police van, and they're driven off. I guess that's about all, Max.
I think that's about all we can show.
The rest of it is... watch that film. Don't ruin it. I want to keep that.
So there you have it. And I imagine a little bit like this would whet your appetite. We don't have the exact dates. As soon as we do, we'll let you know. That's the Bob and Ray Mystery Bus Ride. Keep it in mind for your fall entertainment.
Bob and Ray Theater page. Now, last night I had the pleasure of traveling up to Leechburg, Connecticut, to the Brown Barn Theater for the opening of a new play starring a good friend of ours who invited us up, as a matter of fact, Barry Campbell. I'd like to... Can you play the tape right now? Elliott backstage at the Brown Barn Theater after the second act of tonight's opening play, Cry for Mercy, starring Barry Campbell. Barry is here with me now, and this is the first time I've seen you in your natural environment, Barry. Here at backstage at the theater.
Didn't know what you meant by that.
I didn't mean with the cows and animals.
Bob, hope you haven't been inconvenienced too much by getting your car mired out there in the mud. I'm awfully sorry about that.
I was a little concerned about the rain this afternoon, Barry, and of course it did keep away, I would imagine, a good number of people who would have come tonight.
Well, you see, the barn is located in a regular sea of mud when it rains, and we had planned to get some rocks out there so the people could step on them and get over to the barn, but the rain didn't let up until 40 minutes before curtain time.
Well, it certainly was bad luck. Barry, I enjoyed the first 2 acts. How do you think the few people who were here liked it? Did the animals interfere at all, do you think?
Well, the animals do interfere. They have been interfering at all the performances.
Wasn't it possible to keep them in their pens or stalls?
Well, you see, the farmer who owns this property here insisted that we not pen up his animals after sundown, which we had suggested.
Well, it would make it easier.
He has your goats, and he has your cows, and he has your chickens and hogs. And see, he comes out and he kind of feeds the hogs about 4:30.
I noticed one of the hogs rooting around the scenery over there. Did that interfere anything with the second act? Did it bother you at all?
Yes, and of course there is a strong... what would you say? Strong hog smell.
Yeah, I understand. Now, about the play, speaking of that, Cry for Mercy, how is it all going to come out? I think that's the question on everybody's lips here at the end of the second act. With 1 act to go, how is it going to resolve itself?
Well, the wife of the high school teacher...
Played by you, I might say, and very ably, too, Barry.
No, I play the high school teacher.
That's what I mean, yes.
The wife of the high school teacher, in the third final act, cries for mercy. And
that's the title,
doesn't get it.
And doesn't get it. And the curtain comes down, does it, at that point?
Right after the murder and then the solution of the crime.
Well, we're all anxious to see it, and certainly hope that the weather will be better tomorrow. And
even the hens are way off. Listen to them cackling now. They shouldn't be doing this until 5 o'clock in the morning.
Well, Barry Campbell, it's been nice talking to you here at the Brown Barn.
Down to slop the hogs again. This is really tough.
And it's almost curtain time for Act 3 of Cry for Mercy.
And this is Bob and Ray's theatrical reporter, Bob, sending it back to New York. We've culled over the cards listing the symptoms of people in our audience and picked out what we believe to be the most unusual and interesting symptom for today. And we're going to have Dr. Von Baer, our Bob and Ray employee physician.
Up here, doctor, please.
Yeah, boy. And will you come over here, sir, with the symptom? So now. Shall I take over here? Yeah, you better, doctor. All right, sit down here.
Yes.
First, let me hit, cross your legs there, your knees. Let me hit the knee there, see what happens.
Okay, doctor.
First, before I go any further, tell me what it is that you think is your problem, what you wrote on your card there.
Well, I don't know what's wrong. I do know the symptoms I have, and it's this. Yeah.
Well, go ahead. Be open-minded about the thing. We're here to help you, and you were
I'm a
picked
little
as the
hesitant
audience member with the most interesting symptoms, and that's why they sent you up here.
While I'm a little hesitant to go on the air on a coast-to-coast radio and hook up.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I will. See, I have these lumps on my leg, like from halfway down the calf, down around the ankle.
Down around the ankle, yeah. All right, we get to that. Now, I got to fill out a few questions here. How old are you, first of all?
I'm 29.
Do you have a normal high school education?
Well, yes, I graduated.
Did you ever work on a milk truck?
Yes, I did as a boy.
You ever sell newspapers?
No, sir.
So, ever work for a banking concern as a runner?
No. You mean have I been on my feet a lot?
No, that wasn't what I meant. I just want to get your background here a little bit. You got any brothers and sisters?
Yes, I got 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
All right. Older than you or younger than you? One or the other?
Well, it's mixed up.
All right. And
some's older, some's younger.
Currently, you're living in New York City, right?
That's right.
Now we get to the root of your trouble here. Pull up your pant leg there a little bit.
I've had this since about the 4th grade.
Yeah,
these lumps in my legs.
Let me get this measure out here. Does that hurt at all there?
No, itchy a little.
How about this side, this other leg here?
Yeah, that doesn't hurt, no.
Uh-huh.
It's itchy like the other leg, though.
Yeah. It's pretty big lumps there. See. I think I've analyzed your problem, sir.
Yes, doctor.
You wearing long underwear?
Yes, sir.
That's what it is. It's loose down. It's lumpy down there around under your socks there.
Oh, that's what it is, yes.
That's right. Well, have we made you feel a little bit better?
Sure do. Now I feel like going dancing. I feel like I'm no longer in the gathering dusk.
And so, medicine marches on.
Well, that's about all the time we have today. Classic Bob and Ray was written and performed by Bob Elliott and Ray Goulding. Additional material by Tom Cook, Lars Hoel, and Ole Olehi. Classic Bob and Ray was developed for the Radio Foundation by our executive producer, Larry Josephson. Lars Hoel is our program producer, engineering by Jerry LaRosa, Bill O'Neill, and Manoli Wetherell.
And now this is Ray Goulding reminding you to write if you get work.
Bob Elliott reminding you to hang by your thumbs.
This program was independently produced and distributed by the Radio Foundation. This is the Radio Art Radio Network.